Sherry, how are you?
Hello, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking.
Good. It is so glad. I'm so glad to see you and so good to meet with you again.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming back. I'm excited for our conversation. I'm excited to see the things that's going on that have been going on. But before we even get started with that, we have to go with these logistics and we have to do some
Yes.
housekeeping. So I wanted to tell you that I am a mandated reporter. So I am mandated to report anything that basically is harm to you or to someone else in a vulnerable community. I also need to let you know that we're under supervisee. So basically what that means is that my supervisor may use this video for training purposes or basically critiquing kind of how I'm doing things and how, if I have any questions about it. So as before, just the same as our sessions did before, but that is some things that I have to tell you. Is that okay? Is all those things are fine? Move forward.
I'm comfortable and I'm okay to move forward. Thank you.
Okay, I am so excited for today because our last session we talked about the death doula and we talked about how the African American community was not
Yes.
really giving the support, we'll say, giving the support that was needed on something that it seems important. You would seem passionate
Yes.
about it. And we left with some takeaways on how you were going to handle that, if you were going to continue moving forward. So today, is this the reason why you're here today, or are we talking about something different? Because I would love to know where are you going with this? Where are you moving with this?
Yes. Um, yes, actually, I'm glad I'm here today because there is some progress, some positive progress. And, of course, there is some negative that took place, but I'm proud to say that we are moving forward positively.
Good. That's awesome. So okay, if I may ask, when you say there was some negative things that took place
Yes.
since the session, was there some things that went forward that have happened that you would like to discuss, or is there something, let's can
Well,
we talk about that?
we can talk about some of it. But some of the things that took place was a lot of negative feedback within the community um, versus putting mom in a nursing home, staying home with mom.
Mhm,
So we had a lot of that feedback
mhm.
and convincing, the importance of being with family and also honoring their way of living and how they handle transition within their own community. So learning and honoring and respecting that, there were some ups and downs that turned out to be really beneficial and understanding, which helped lead me on to the next level. So yes.
Okay. So since our last visit, basically the negativity came from, is it the feelings of the African American community, or the African American community feeling like this is unnecessary, or what? Help me to understand. I'm trying help me to
Well,
understand what you're
there was a lot of feelings of, why is this necessary? Why do we have to go through this process? And the ideal, I had to just sit back and express the importance of, having mom at home instead of away and explaining that mom still have feelings too. And there's a sense of loneliness when away from a home that you helped
mm,
build.
okay.
So but it turned out to be a beautiful understanding on
Okay.
both sides for me and for them.
Okay.
So
Okay.
yes,
So in the end, there was a resolution. Is that correct?
indeed, it was a positive
It
resolution.
was a positive resolution.
Yes.
Okay. So moving forward with this, okay. And one other question I do want to ask is that, have you experienced this? Have you experienced being a deaf doula to someone in your family? Or is that the passion? Is
Yeah.
that where it's coming from? And is that, when the information is conveyed to the community and they're not understanding, does that set how does it make you feel? Like, is that what's the feeling, or is it the feeling of not knowing and then just drawing a conclusion of this is not what's right?
Well, to answer your question, the thing that what helps is, as far as a deaf doula, Experience is a good thing. I've experienced, this work for over 19 years.
Mm-hmm.
One-on-one, I've experienced this with my own mom, staying
Mm-hmm.
home with my mom, seeing to it that she transitioned more comfortably. And
Mm-hmm.
I was able to express the importance of it and the gratitude behind it, um, of just being there with and knowing that someone is there with you and that you're just not transitioning as a number. So
Yes.
once that is explained, then for the majority, it is understood and it is acceptable. And I think
Okay.
that's the importance of it. And so the experience that I've had in the past actually helped me to express that to the community. And it was
Awesome.
understood.
Okay, that I think that helped me to understand that one, this is an experience that you have been through. It's not something that you're like, oh,
Right.
let's see how this is going. This is something that you have
Right.
experienced, and you have experienced the feelings and the emotions with that, and moved forward to it, and found a way
Right.
that you can give back because there may be other people like you. Oh,
Exactly.
that's okay. I commend you for
Exactly.
that. That's not an easy thing to do. So
No, not
I
at all.
commend you. I commend
Thank
you for doing that. So tell me about moving forward. Tell me
you.
what is your plan and how do you want to execute it? What's your plan of moving forward? Now
My
that you've overcome all
yes.
the obstacles and things like that, how are you going to move forward with the deaf doula?
And moving forward is to notify the family, make sure I communicate back and forth with the family, being available when needed, in hopes of once it grows and strengthens, there would be a larger number of individuals that I could bring along with me to help in case there may be five families who may need, this assistance at one time. I want to be able to at least have five other team members that I can push out and say, hey, this is what we have to do. I mean, it's just bringing comfort to the family because it's a stressful situation just
Mhm.
doing it by yourself. So that's my intent.
That is the next thing. While you were talking, I was thinking of that. I'm like, the word that came to mind is crisis. So you're bringing on, you want to move forward with building a team, and I imagine this is a team of compassionate people, passionate like yourself about the
Yes.
deaf doula. But in an event of a crisis, which it could look as though a crisis if you're not prepared for this, or how would you handle that? Will that set you back in the way you feel of how you have evolved past it and willing to give? Because it's like a grieving thing. It is grieving. So you have your steps of grieving, but will that set you back in steps if the crisis is right there, you're not prepared for it, and you're just like, help me to understand that part of
Well,
it.
as a doula, um, crisis does not really truly exist. You,
Okay.
you don't have time as a doula to actually have a crisis until
Okay.
after your job is done because you don't want to impress that energy upon the individual that you're caring for. Um,
Mhm.
I shouldn't, be able to transform that and make their transition worse because I feel like I'm in a crisis. It cannot and should not affect anyone at all.
Okay. So this is a question that I may have. So what I hear you saying is this is typically not a crisis. This is something we know that is happening. This is a service that we're providing. This is comfort measures. This is
Mhm.
things that you are putting into place even before, once you
Yes.
find out how things are going with your loved one and you put a death doula in position to help with that.
Mhm.
So it's not considered a crisis, but I do need to ask you, and I just want to know from how do you handle, how are you after all of this is done and you are done with, I don't know if you consider them clients or if you consider how you consider
Mhm.
the people that you're servicing, if they're residents, if they're clients, if they're considered patients. I'm not sure how you consider them, but self-care? How are you breaking down those things and putting them on the shelf? Are you able to, other than me, are you able to speak with someone that will help you through this process daily, instead of just kind of holding it? This is rough. We know in the community, this is rough for the Black community. We know that you have to
Mhm.
uphold this deaf doula, but you also want to assist in the community and helping understand. So how do you self-care? How do you woosah? I guess that's the word. How do
Oh,
you
it seemed like you
woosah?
said, how do I cope?
Yes. How do you cope?
Um, Meditation. One of the things is knowing that you're called to do something. And
Okay.
if you're called to do it, then you are able to accept. Now we all become what is it, connected to the individuals. You find a connection and a love, and we are human, so I
Mm-hmm.
can't say that, oh, it didn't affect me at all. Next, no, that
It
individual
does.
means something to me.
Okay.
I care. I have that burden placed on me, so I'm able to absorb that energy. And if
Mm-hmm.
that individual transition, then that is the time where I have to, like you said, I have to release, I have to woosah, because I have to prepare my mind, my body, and so for the next
Right.
patron to come along. So I do that by way of meditation.
Meditation. Okay, that's good. That okay. So I'm not really too worried. It sounds like you have some plans set up, you have some
Yes,
things in place, and for the what ifs and how you're feeling, because it can be, anytime we're dealing with the loss, it can be overwhelming. It can
yes,
become overbearing. It could stimulate us in different ways, and it could trigger different things. So knowing that you have a coping mechanism for this is a great, great, great thing.
yes,
That's a great thing to know.
yes.
Is there anything else that you would like to talk about today? Any other issue you need to address? I think that you are on the right track. I am so proud of you. You're on the right
Thank
track, and
you.
you have this passion and you have this zeal about yourself, and you're moving forward regardless of the obstacles. And I'm just
Yes,
I'm happy for you. I'm happy for you, and
thank
I
you.
hope that you're happy for yourself because you
I
have
am.
accomplished a lot.
I am, and it's greatly and it's appreciated. I do, and I do want to. I thank you for being that ear, because it does help me to express it as
Hmm.
well. Because you tend to see things differently when you speak it. So
Yes, true,
yes,
true. Okay, Sherry. Well, thank you so
thank
much for
you.
coming in and speaking to me. So we're just gonna wrap it up today. So basically, we just talked about the beginning of the deaf doula and the obstacles from last session, and moving into the great things that you have been able to accomplish
Yes,
with just moving forward. You made a decision that you were going to move forward. You were determined to move forward and
yes,
to educate the community about the things that's going on. You have a plan for your coping mechanism. You utilize meditation, and that is great. And you have me here. So whenever you need to
yes,
talk and whenever you need to unfold some things, then please, please feel free to come back and let me know
yes.
how things are going. So
You.
that's all, then I will talk to you next time.
All right. I appreciate you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.
Bye bye.